Yes, what's happening? Welcome back to another video. This video is a little bit different to how we usually do things. I thought that sometimes you can do a little change, so that's what I'm going to do tonight. So basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to tell you the story of the lady, well basically the Queen of the Well. So I'm gonna, you'll be able to read it as I do the story. So I'm going to snapshot the story basically, and I'll read it out to you. You can read it if you want, and then I'm going to put some of my evidence in there at the end, so you can see the video that I was talking about before, and how the story matches up with the video that I did at the time. And I didn't even know about the story. So basically, welcome to Tales of Basil Brush. Welcome to it's more or less like story time, where I tell you the story as it's written, basically, as I read it. But I didn't do that well, I don't think, explaining the Queen of the Well, really, or the Wardle legend that is the Queen of the Well. So the story's more in depth, so you get to know more about the story. But yeah, here we go. So welcome to the Queen of the Well. This story's been modified. It's not in exact order, but it's in an order that I felt was right for a video. So if you know the story, and you probably know that it's not in order, but for me, I'm just trying to tell the story as best that I can, just for a video format. So here we go with the story. Here we go with the legend of the Queen of the Well. Here we go. The legend is based on a shape-shifting naiad, female water spirit or nymph, who haunts the waters of a well found on top of Brownwaddle Hill on the rugged, windy South Pennine Moors. The story is set in medieval times, when the practice of hawking was a regular sport, and when names such as Hilda and Gertrude were more commonplace. All the audio was recorded in the valley of Whitworth and woven together in the shadow of Brownwaddle Hill at the 18th century farmhouse, which some say is built on an ancient well. Well, it might be. Hopefully it is. But anyway, we'll start with the story, and here we go. There is a hill to be found within the vale of sloping moors of deep Lancashire, found in the midst of timelessness. A hill full of elemental mystery. This hill is older than time itself. Its summit reads the lay of the land all around, from moor to dell, though its soft and stony bourne runs veins of waters that connect to a well. Green moss, soft, springy, damp and brown dry, rushes and grass stirred by breeze, waving hello and goodbye. So that's a nice little intro there, so let's carry on with the next page. Some say the hill is giant locked in eternal sleeping sigh, a hill which blows rich within the tales of boggarts, fairies, dwarves and witches. The majestic and magical Brownwaddle Hill, its moors with hoof paw and beak, not to mention things lurking deep. The air is filled with jubilant choruses of feathered songsters in mystic flight, kestrel, raven, blackbird, lark, swallow and twite. The beating of giddy play lambs, the slow sway of cows, the hum bees dense in the air, the speedy herd arts everywhere, badgers emerge for nighttime air, fox awaits and stirs. At the base of Brownwaddle Hill, by trickling of the rill, 3 horses centre to trot and stop. 3 friends dismount from their horses, all on their arms of birds of prey. Nicola Waddell, whatever he's called, had a penguin falcon. So let's have a look more into that. Medieval times, that probably was the case. His sister, the young lady Hilda de Wild, had on her small wrist a merlin. The monk known as the Bartolome was carrying a goshawk. They ascended the hill under vast swirling skies, though imagination's widest eyes. Each bird took to flight and scared out of sight. They hadn't noticed a heron flying nearby, and suddenly it was struck by the merlin, falling to the ground, the heron in anguish. Hilda found herself alone, without her companions, and rushed after the injured bird on all fours, attempting she might capture and treat the fallen heron. Meanwhile, Nicholas de Weld had hastily been summoned by a breathless squire to ascend some urgent duties in a nearby town of Rochdale, and had soon departed on his horse. The monk made his way to the other side of Wardle, to where he supposed Hilda was. As Hilda reached out for the bird, the heron evaded and sprang into the wall. Then behold, as it touched the mirror, like water, a strange mist arose, concealing the bird from view. And as Hilda gazed in amazement, the mist gradually assumed human form. And the most beautiful maiden that mortal eyes have ever saw met the young lady's astonished gaze. Her golden hair, dressed with the soft moss often found in the wells. That's a bit creepy, isn't it? Sparkling with dew-like ornaments upon her shite and whitened shoulders. Her eyes of liquid blue shone out from the face of mingled beauty, intelligence and mischief. Her green robe of rushes with shimmering lustre descended to the surface of the still mirrored water, beneath which her dainty feet, of the ankle of which glittered golden ring, could clearly be seen. Golden ring, eh? And this is the picture of her here, look. Probably what she looked like. Her left hand held a bulrush sceptre, whilst her right extended towards Hilda with a reproachful quiver. "Welcome, O lady," said the Naiad. "Welcome to the abode of one who loves thee well. Often in the past has been thee with other maidens. Come hither." Hattie Thing's eyes on a fair mare. Morning, that childlike ye might learn, whom ye should weed. Now hast thee learnt yet greater knowledge, for thy falcon has stricken the Queen of the Well, stricken only once in all time before, and she made a slight motion towards a golden ring. Didst ever hear of Gertrude de Boo? Hilda trembled violently. Gertrude de Boo? One of the mother's friends had disappeared mysteriously on Brownwater Hill some 20 years before. The Naiad laughed, though trembled. I, Gertrude de Boo, did all as I has done. Her falcon struck me, and I led her hither here to my slivery mirrored home. Come, thou shalt see it. And before the shivering girl could offer up any resistance, the water fair seized her by the wrist and drew her into the water out of sight. The moon was casting a flood over the radiance of Brownwater Hill when the monk reached the old well, but no sign of Hilda could he see. He made a hasty circuit, peering everywhere, and then returned to the well and pondered deeply. How can this be? As he spoke the words, a mist rose from the water before him, and the Naiad appeared. Her eyes were shining with malicious and mischievous triumph. So it's quite a good story, to be honest. So obviously I'll show you the well now. Just put a picture of the well in, and that's probably the well, maybe. I don't know. I just put a picture of a well in anyway. And yeah. I come, O monk, she cried, Hilda. De Wildel has elected to stay in my silver home. Nay, I gave her choice. I paid her return, as she will, but in the event her father would suffer during the expedition over the Atlantic Ocean, and she must suffer for the blow of her friendish hawk did give me, so has willed to remain. Her father will remain safe, otherwise he had not been so an hour. So bid your farewell at once. This hill and well are forever mine. As she spoke, her features became indistinct, and the monk became conscious of heaviness, like that of sleep falling upon him. He strove to raise his hands, strove to utter some words of protest, but a power beyond his own held him under control, and just as consciousness finally left him, he seemed to see the form of Hilda de Wilde bending over him, and to her telling him of what he chanced upon that day. When he again came to, he was lying near the well, the sun shining brightly above the sky. He remembered distinctly all that he had heard and seen, even Hilda's account of her own disappearance, and, as he gazed at now the murky water of the well, he saw lying in it the dead body of Hilda de Wilde's falcon. Nothing more was heard of the helpless maiden Hilda. It was the monk alone who kept hidden the burden of knowing that she was strangled by magic in the well that day. But tradition tells, sometimes before the sunrise on the 1st of May, when the dew is at its most magical, 3 figures may be seen wandering hand in hand over the slope of Brownwaddle Hill. All have golden moss-drenched hair and have eyes of shining blue. All have robes of shimmering green, sparkling with dewy pearls. But the face of one of them in the midst is merry, and those of others is sad. And one of them casts longing eyes towards the spot where Wardle Hall once stood proud. That's quite a good story, to be honest. I like that story. So that's obviously the true story of what happened. So now I'm going to show you the video of what happened to me in Randy Nautica, and I did not know about this story at the time, so here goes. Like it?
Like.
You like it? Yeah, that's good. You're supposed to like it as well. I like it too. It's been rain like this, you see.
Died.
I think it's time to go. Anyway, thanks for talking. I have to go now. But it's lovely talking to you. Whoever you are, because you've not told me your name really, have you?
Thank you, Basil.
It's alright, no problem. Yeah, I have to go, so... But anyway, I'll speak to you soon. Lovely talking to you. Whoever you were. You obviously know my name. But I don't know yours. Anyway, this is the pin, guys. And, as you can see, well, Randy Nautica 25 completed. As I move on to
Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th.
Wow, no way.
Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th. Guilty.